Hey collectors, here is a look at Steel Wheel and Bluegrass from the Silverhawks cartoon series, and both figures comes in a brown shipper box plus the slipcase, and once you remove it you will see the figure in a window type box showing all the accessories and content of each package. And each of these figures are now twinkling in the Philippines, and most of it are available at Green Hills Shopping Center. At the back of each of the characters box are their bios, and this is from Wave 2. Wave 1 was delayed. Probably Super7 is doing some adjustments with the quality of the figures. And here are both of the figures out of the box, and each of them comes in two plastic trays. Steel Wheel has all these accessories: extra head and extra hands at the back on the second tray. Same with Bluegrass, with all the effects and other accessories like his lasso of truth. Not just kidding. Like his lasso and other pairs of hands for him to hold his guitar. And by the way, before you can take out both of this figure, there is a harness at their waist, twisties as we call them. So you have to remove those before you can get both of these figures out of the plastic tray. And here is a closer look at each of the second tray of the figure. This one is for Steel Wheel, and the second one is for Bluegrass. And the one thing you can notice is that Bluegrass does not have an alternative arm which has the wing deployed, because in the cartoon series Bluegrass is always in the pilot seat of their spacecraft called Mirage. And out of the plastic tray, here is Steel Wheel and Bluegrass. Now each of these figures stands around 6.5 inches tall, and like all other figures in the Super 7 toy lines like the Thundercats and the G.I. Joe, both of them are articulated. But here is my problem with these figures. Bluegrass isn't as large and as tall as I want him to be, and Bluegrass should be taller than Steel Wheel, as you can see in the cartoon series. Now, this poses a problem when you put Quicksilver with these two figures, because Quicksilver has a much larger frame than both of them. And here is a look at the back of the figures. There isn't much detail, but with the diaper part of Steel Wheel, there is some kind of discoloration. It's not much noticeable at front, but at the back you can see the difference in color. So I think it's another quality control issue of Super 7. After 2 years of delay, and still we get some defective products from them. And here is Steel Wheel in an action pose. Surprisingly, he could hold it without any support, but again, I don't suggest you putting them in such kind of posing without any support because a little nudge and this figure will surely fall down. With Bluegrass, he can also pull off an action pose without any support. But again, I don't suggest you leaving them in this kind of position because a little nudge and this figure will surely fall down. And the best part of him is that you can remove the hat. It's not attached to the head sculpt. And also be careful when you're bending the joints because the paint will surely be scraped off. And here is another complaint of mine. Instead of making two figures for this accessory, why not just make the wings collapsible or articulated so that you can make this pose and not waste any more plastic or space. There are other things that you could put for each of the Silverhawks that has an extra bird in their accessories instead of making two figures with different poses. What I like about the line of Silverhawks is that Super 7 made new bodies for each characters and did not use any of the molds from the Masters of the Universe line. And I do hope they would continue doing this if they would jump into other cartoon series toy lines. With their price point, I was expecting a lot from the Silverhawks line from Super 7. But with flaking joint painted parts and the scale, there should have been more diversity with what Super 7 is doing with the Silverhawks line. And for size comparison, here they are with the Justice League, Superman from Mafex and Buzz Lightyear from Toy Story by Bandai Model Kit. With Kid Krillin from Dragon Ball by SH Figuarts and Snoopy from the Great Pumpkin toy line by Playing Mantis. With Jar Jar Binks from the Black Series Star Wars Episode 1 Phantom Menace by Hasbro and Foot Soldier from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie by NECA. With Duke from the G.I. Joe line by Super 7 and Pantro from Thundercats by Super 7. And this is what I'm talking about. Duke is much taller than both Steel Wheel and Bluegrass. And being a humanoid, Pantro is the same height as both of these figures. So there is really a problem with the scaling of the Silverhawks characters by Super 7. And here they are at the passenger area of the Thunder Tank. And yes, Steel Wheel can sit on the provided seats by Super 7 for the Thundercats. And if this platform is removed, then there are more leg space for every character. Another design flaw from this company that even though this playset was delayed for 2 years, they didn't made improvements on that passenger bay. And here is Bluegrass in the driver's seat of the 1980 1989 Batmobile based on the Flash movie made by McFarlane Toys. And to wrap things up, here they are with Monstar in his beast form and Windhammer, both from Wave 2 by Super7 under the Silverhawks toy line. And with that, thank you all for watching. See you all again next video.